let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Il est un peu agressif, mais en même temps, ça doit se comprendre. Il doit un peu se faire harceler tout le temps. Truc de riche.
Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
You're assuming a lot, Mr. Wade.
Guilty as charged. It's a stance I find remarkably effective for a man with little time and a tendency to be correct.
You might want to rethink that attitude. I have a history of surprising people.
Is that so? Very well, I'll indulge you for now. Who are you then?
I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Gotcha!
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning
Calme-toi,
smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
La blague est peut-être pas...
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I
Même le
must
garde du
say,
corps allemand.
you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never
Il y a une
mentioned that
phrase qui
to
n'a pas
me.
été traduite
She's just too
qui dit
proud.
que...
At first she
Dites
refused.
que vous voulez de Joseph, mais
She
il
was
n'a
convinced that I
jamais
had
été
an
riche.
agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes, they ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to
C'est
doubt
important
Joseph's
de
commitment, but
rappeler
I'm
que c'est
not
pas
going to
toujours la
ignore
faute
his flaws
des parents.
either.
Que
Your
des fois,
grandfather often
les gens
used his
sont
heart
ce qu'ils sont
when he should have
aussi.
used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the painting speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Oh, pauvre riche. Il avait plein de propriétés, il s'est fait voler des trucs. Bref.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks. Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now.
Ça, c'est une petite information pour nous, joueurs, pas pour les personnages dans l'histoire.
Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Un super chien de garde.
There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime.
Je
Nothing
sens
more
qu'on
than
connaît le
that.
témoin.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious. What's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
Ils ont cru qu'ils allaient jouer. Mais en fait, non. Je pense pas qu'il y ait d'autres trucs à dire.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
C'est gentil. Au revoir.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that.
Alors, on va aller où? Église ou réserve naturelle? J'aimerais faire l'église en dernier. Enfin, la réserve naturelle.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head. What the?
We've met before, haven't we?
Non, absolument pas, je me souviendrai d'un type chauve avec du maquillage et un air louche. J'en doute, on dirait que vous êtes échappé d'un cirque. Je crois pas, monsieur propre, Sophie ça compte de vous avoir vu sur une bouteille de détergent. Alors, voyons, qu'est-ce qu'on peut... Oh, on va monsieur propre, un classique. Et je veux savoir en plus ce qu'elle va dire en version originale, parce que c'est pas monsieur propre, je pense, en anglais.
I don't think so, Mr. Clean. Unless seeing your
Bah,
face
si,
on a
c'est-
bottle of detergent counts.
Bon, si, c'est monsieur Clean.
Always the joker, aren't you, Kathy?
Who are you? How do you know my name?
You told me, remember?
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the anomaly, the missing refrain, the convergence point of things past and events yet to happen.
Dial down the metaphors a notch, would you, Mr. Kafka? I get enough of that shit in English class.
Monsieur Kafka.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Wow.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into mom?
On va partir du principe que la plante crée des hallucinations et que donc on a dû d'une certaine manière en absorber. On va essayer d'y retourner encore. Ah ah.
Hello? Creepy bald guy.
Mr. Clean.
Guess no one's home. What's this? A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy.